Once upon a time in a little house lived a boy named Billie Eilish. Billy loved two things in his life, candy and TV. So much so that he would eat candy while watching TV all day long. One Saturday morning, as Billy was eating Snickers while watching a weather report, there was a flash of light from the television. Startled, Billy dropped his chocolate bar. The TV screen went blank for a moment before displaying a message. For being such an exemplary viewer who never leaves their seat, here is your reward. Then the TV turned on all by itself and emitted another flash of light. And when Billy looked at the TV, he didn't see a talking owl or a pretty princess. Instead, he saw himself sitting on the couch and eating a Snickers. It was creepy to say the least. But then something incredible happened. The clouds outside suddenly darkened and rain poured through the window. Just moments ago, the sun was shining and the birds were singing. Outside, Billy looked back at the TV and saw that the weatherman was now holding an umbrella and shivering. Looks like we're gonna have some scattered showers today, the weatherman said, shaking his wet hair out of his eyes. Billy was shocked. Was this some kind of magic? How could watching the TV make the weather change? He had so many questions, but before he could ponder any further, the TV screen flashed once again. This time the image of a girl wearing sunglasses appeared on the screen. She wore a floral summer dress and her hair flowed behind her like a waterfall. "It's me," the girl said to Billy. "I'm here to tell you that you have a gift." And with that, she disappeared. Billy turned to look out the window, but what he saw made him gasp. The girl from the TV was standing right outside his house waving at him. And then she did something even more shocking. With a flick of her wrist, the sky cleared up. The sun came out to play, and the birds began singing sweetly. "Don't you understand?" the girl asked Billy. "By turning the TV dial, you can change the world around you." Before Billy could respond, the girl was gone. And when he turned back to the TV, it was as though nothing had happened. There was no sign of the girl or the weather report. Confused and scared, Billy decided to turn off the TV and go outside. "Who are you?" Billy asked. "My name is Finn," the boy replied. "And you already know what this place is. This is the in-between. You can do incredible things here." "Incredible things like what?" Billy asked. "Well, anything you want," Finn said with a smile. "This place is full of imagination." Before Billy could ask another question, Finn grabbed his hand and said, "Come on, I'll show you." They entered a beautiful garden full of sweets. There were candy canes growing out of the ground like spears, gumdrop bushes, and licorice vines hanging from the trees. "Wow!" Billy breathed. He picked up a shiny red apple from a nearby tree and took a bite. His eyes widened. It tasted like strawberry cheesecake. As Billy and Finn walked through the garden, they saw a family of hedgehogs playing near a small pond. One of them was wearing a top hat and juggling balls. Another was painting a beautiful picture. And the third one was reading a book under a mushroom. Is that a hedgehog wearing a top hat? Billy asked. Finn nodded. Anything can happen here, he said. You can do anything you want. Suddenly, an idea popped into Billie Eilish's head. Billy tried changing their clothes, but nothing happened. Puzzled, he looked at Finn and asked, How come the puppies' clothes aren't changing? Puppies can't wear clothes, Finn explained with a grin. That's silly. Disappointed, Billy wanted to change something else. So he pressed a few buttons on the remote and poof, the puppies became 3 kitties. Billy couldn't believe what he was doing, but he felt powerful and important. Just then, a dark cloud appeared over the garden. The playful kitties instantly huddled together, scared by the sudden gloom. Billy looked up at the sky and saw a grumpy-looking man with a watering can. Who's that? Billy whispered to Finn. That's the Cloud Man, Finn replied. And he doesn't seem very happy. What's wrong with him? Billy asked. He just wants some sunshine, Finn said. Oh, before Billy could say anything else, the Cloud Man shook his watering can. Rain poured down from the sky and soaked Billy and Finn to the bone. I don't like this, Billy said, shivering. Let's change the weather. So Billy grabbed the remote and pressed a few buttons. The cloudy sky cleared up in an instant. The sun peeked out from behind the clouds, and the gentle breeze made Billy and Finn feel warm and dry. That's better, Billy said with a smile. Then the Cloud Man wiped the raindrops from his face and smiled at Billy. Thank you for making me happy again. Here is your reward. The Cloud Man waved his magic wand and poof, Billy had a brand new pair of shoes. Billy was surprised. He didn't realize there were rewards for using his powers. How does the Cloud Man know what I want? He asked. Finn shrugged. I guess that's his superpower. Just then, a booming voice echoed through the garden. Attention, super selectors. Your training is almost complete. Tomorrow you will have to choose between 2 worlds. One will be filled with joy and happiness, and the other will be full of sadness and pain. Choose wisely, super selectors, because your decision will affect the entire universe. When Billy and Finn heard the message, they looked at each other in surprise. They hadn't realized they were being trained. But why? Why were they becoming super selectors? Just then, a woman with sparkling wings and a kind smile appeared in front of them. Who are you? Billy asked. My name is Celeste, the woman replied, and I am the guardian of this dimension. We call this place the in-between, because it is between the world of fantasy and the real world. Super selectors are given a special gift so they can help the people of Earth. We get to be superheroes, Finn said with a wide grin. Exactly, Celeste said. You can use your gift to make people happy and bring them joy. But remember, every action has a consequence. If you bring joy to one person, it may cause someone else to feel sad. Think carefully about your actions, super selectors, because you have the power to change the world for the better or for the worse. The next day, Billy and Finn were sitting in front of the TV. The program guide showed two images, one of a crying baby and the other of a smiling child. Which one should we pick? Billy asked Finn. They both knew the answer. They had to choose the image of the smiling child. After all, who would want to be responsible for making a baby cry? But when Billy pressed the select button, the room started spinning. The TV screen went blank and suddenly they were in a different world. People were running around with wild expressions on their faces. Their cars were flying through the air and buildings were falling apart. What have we done? Billy cried. It was chaos everywhere. But then they heard a familiar voice. It's okay, the girl from the TV said. I'll fix everything. You just sit back and relax. And with that, she snapped her fingers and poof, the town was back to normal. The cars landed on the ground. The buildings stood tall and proud, and the people were smiling again. We caused all this destruction, Billy said, feeling guilty. Yes, but you also saved us from sadness, the girl replied. We may live in a world where sometimes things go wrong, but that's okay. That's what makes us human. It's our job as super selectors to help people when they're sad. And you two did exactly that today. Billy and Finn looked at each other and smiled. They had made the right choice. Together, they could help people and make the world a better place. From that day forward, Billy and Finn continued to use their powers to help others. They knew that every decision had consequences, but they also knew that they could always rely on each other. And that's what being a superhero is all about.